Hello everyone, Fifi and Sam back for another Community Matters interview, and we've got a really great one lined up today. Very excited about this. We've got the lovely ladies Sonia and Jen from the Growing Project. Sonia and I have known each other for a little while now, haven't we? Through
we have
work on the protests and stuff, and being in the movement. And this is just, it's really exciting to see what you're doing. So if you could just give us a little introduction and explain what the Growing Project's all about, that'd be great.
Yeah, fantastic. So my name's Sonia, and that's Jen, and we met. Hello. We met like August 2020, wasn't it? I would think around that time.
Yeah, I think it was now.
Yeah. So we've just, we've known each other as friends, gotten to know each other during all these crazy times. And I spent like the 2 years like you on protests and pushing against things, and then you get to a certain point and you realize actually we should just be creating the world we want to live in. So my focus sort of changed about 6 months ago to start looking at how I get out of the system and learn skills to be able to do that. Because I'm quite lazy, I thought I'm going to have to put it out there that I'm doing this thing, and I'll document this thing, that way make sure I'll have to do it. And Jen is brilliant. She's like so experienced. She's, you can tell them about your sort of background, but you've been semi-off-grid for a little while. And I thought, okay, growing skills, that's the first thing I have to learn. And I went to Jen. She's been an inspiration, helping me growing on my balcony, which is where I'm sitting at the moment. And if you can see some stuff there, can you see all the stuff on the balcony? You've got tomatoes, aubergines, kale, and some courgettes that aren't quite working very well. And as we're activists, we've been on the streets, last couple of years doing outreach and things like that. So brought the team together to also, while we're trying to get out the system, to let communities in London know that there's a different way of living. You don't have to, have your kids in school. You can supplement your food, by growing it yourself. So yeah, it's just started. We just started around May, I think it was. And Jen, do you want to pick up on anything that I've missed out?
No, I think that's it. It all come down. Everyone kind of agreed, didn't they, at one point, that this is what we're going to have to be doing. Start looking after what we're producing and what we're eating, because we know it's going to come to a point where it's not going to be easy to get, and it's going to be controlled. So I think, I've always felt like that. I've always felt like I need to do things like that. So that's why I've been growing for a few years already. But no, I think that was when we all kind of come to that conclusion, didn't we?
Yeah. And being a city girl, that is, as a kid, I did go up into nature because photography is my hobby. But I'm pretty much, I went camping for the first time at the weekend at the Hope Festival. That's the first time I've ever been in a tent, in my whole life. So, I've got a lot to learn. And while I'm doing it, I just like to share it with everybody else, basically, and try and inspire others to sort of do the same.
Awesome.
I think we're all experiencing like a lot of firsts. I think everybody is kind of, learning as they go and becoming aware that there's all these kind of lost skills that we kind of had as humanity. We had all these skills, this level of self-reliance and independence, and slowly but surely that's all kind of been chipped away. And I think, you said you felt that shift, rather than pushing back, that it was, kind of embracing this new way of life and kind of setting up something new. And I think, I've seen, certainly, I'm sure you guys have as well, within the movement as a whole, that there has definitely been that shift with a lot of people and surrounding kind of creating and building the world that we want to see. For me, there's still, I've kind of got a foot in both camps. For me, I kind of feel like I want to do both. But there's definitely a place for both. And I'm learning the growing skills and stuff you have as well.
Yeah, we're loving
sharing our little our little gardens and our vegetable
They've got
growing.
your gardens going, yeah?
Yeah, I went out there this morning, this evening. I've just went to cook dinner. And the satisfaction of going into my garden, cutting a courgette off the plants, some chilies off my chili plants, and cooking them for dinner. There is nothing quite like it. It's something so magical about it.
They taste better as well.
Definitely.
Roast dinner the other day, and we had our first lot of potatoes and our carrots. They were really weeny, but because I just didn't spin them properly. I'm learning so much, but they were still delicious. And we've got kale as well, broccoli, which unfortunately has bolted, which means flowers. So I'm learning all the lingo now.
And seeds.
Yes, we got all the seeds to collect. But yeah, we're just learning so much, and I think there's, like Sam says, you've got sort of a foot in each camp. I think that's natural. I think we're in that sort of transition, aren't we, where we are learning. And
I think we just all realise, though, the system. There's no point in trying to break the system or push against it. Why don't we just create our own world? But while we're at it, let's just keep giving them hell, because they deserve it, you know. Why not?
Right on.
Just keep pushing back.
Yeah, exactly. But keeping that focus, like we talk about this all the time, is, you know, that's how we will manifest and create the reality that we want to live in, is by having most of our energy focused on that, rather than that you know, that the level of outrage and anger and all of that, it's not sustainable, actually, whereas the opposite is, because it feeds you and it just keeps building. So yeah, I'm definitely with you there. You know, we absolutely give them hell. We're not just gonna let them get away with it, but at the same time, we're busy building.
I think it's also a big part of how we win, is that there are a lot of people out there that go, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? And actually, you know, people don't see that there's another way. We've all been so trapped in this system and so kind of, you know, crammed into this is life, this is how it is. And I think once we do create, you know, these new systems, these new way of living, and people see that actually there is another way out there, it doesn't have to be the way that it is now, you know, and it is kind of leading by example, and the famous phrase of build it and they will come. When people see that there is a better alternative out there, you know, that is how we gain our numbers. They go, oh, okay, actually this sounds a lot better than actually what we're doing now. And
and the exciting thing is there's so much going on. Like since starting this project and people contacting me and seeing what's going on out there, it's so exciting, the amount of people that are setting up food projects and initiatives. People are coming together, they're learning new skills like we all are. And it's just an energy and excitement actually at the moment. We're at the beginning of it all. You know, I saw you at the Hope Festival at the weekend, Sam. It was brilliant, which was brilliant. You know, it's the home of personalised education. They're doing brilliant things around home education, and they'd had their inaugural festival, music festival, Freedom Music Festival. Brilliant, so well set up. We don't need their corporate festivals and their whatever. We've got everything. There's so much talent and excitement and energy in the movement. I don't want to go back to the 2 years before and go back to all those old nonsense that we had before.
I don't want the new normal, and I don't want the old normal.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Our normal. So how's it been for you, like, since you started the project? Obviously you put it out there, you're sort of charting your journey of discovery, and obviously you're drawing people in. So how does it work? You know, are you advising people? Like, how can people get involved?
It's interesting. We're sort of finding our feet with things at the moment. So there was the outreach part of it, which is what we started. We've got leaflets together, which explains why. Thank you. Why food shortages are happening. We didn't want to focus on fear, did we, Jen? It was more that we just wanted to give people information, but you know, we wanted to empower people what they could do. So that was the main thing. So we did some outreach in Southall, in Stratford, a few places around London. But actually what I was yearning for was a space to try something, which was a community which we've gone into in North London, where, you know, when we went in there, we were told, well, people don't really engage with each other here. They've got this amazing garden space. No one was really growing on it, and people become a bit disillusioned. And since we've gone in there, it's lovely, you know, because I think some projects focus too much on plants and not the people. This is about people. We win this by shining light on everybody and kind of empowering people and bringing us all together. And this space, it's just lovely. You know, people coming down. We've had somebody who did not want to engage with us on the first day. I actually annoyed him because I saw he had a shovel and I knocked on his door, but he was sleeping, and so I woke him up, and he did give us the shovel.
Never a good first impression.
Yeah, never good, is it? Yeah. I thought, you know what? He's going to be key. I know I'm going to get him on side eventually. And so the next time I went down, you know, kind of like started chatting to him, and he's engaged now. You know, he actually helped clear out some stuff. He donated a table, so we've got a communal area. People started coming down. I challenged myself to bake a pie with the apples from the garden, because I thought, you know what, that's going to be a great way to show that, well, A, to have something to share with the community, and B, then it's meant I've challenged somebody else there to do it, and so they're going to do it. So we don't want to be running these projects. We just want to go in, bring sort of a community together, get them going, because it's hard if you're in a community and nothing's ever happened before. You kind of sometimes need an energy to come in and shake it all up, and then you empower them to just keep it going. We can't keep going back and, you know, planting stuff or watering stuff. We're engaging people to lead in their own community. That's what we want to do, basically. And so partly it's the growing aspect of it, but, you know, we bring light papers with us as well, and, you know, we've got those leaflets, and you have those little conversations, and you know, it's not, for me, this is, you know, growing is obviously a huge part of it, but there's just so much more, isn't there, you know? And obviously we've got Keep Cash Alive on the leaflets as well, and so we're going to also spread out around the community. So this is kind of like the center point of it. It's 29 flats, and there's a bit of a big garden behind it. And then what we're going to do is also kind of, you know, speak to people around that community. We've already bumped into people that said, oh, I've got a garden that I'm not using, can you find people to use it? And then we're meeting with awake people there, people who aren't but want to get involved. So yeah, I think you just want to kind of just work in whole communities. It's not just about that space, it's about moving outwards as well. Yeah. So there's the outreach side of it, and the community project, and then there's our own personal journeys as well. So I did a survival skills course, because, you know, again, we are so embedded in the system because we think we can't survive without it. Yeah. And I just wanted really basic skills, you know. I mean, Jen is a camper, she's done loads of stuff, she can tell you about her background, but I am a city girl. I've been in a city all my life, and I'm just not very practical, really not practical at all. And I'm really kind of quite proud of myself at how practical I can be if I put my mind to it. So yeah, I can light a fire without matches, I can tie knots and build an emergency shelter now. And I'm going to do the advanced course soon, so yeah. Yeah. Oh. But we do advise, yeah, so people have been coming to us, and the next stage of it actually is we put a call out for people who want to lead in their communities, and what we can do is link people up. And so we've got experienced growers, so it's a brilliant team. I'm so lucky, you know, the team around us have got so many skills, and they give up their time to help out in the community. So we can help people either if they haven't got enough growing skills or they haven't got that community project leading skills. So we can help on both sides, and just, you know, encourage people to do similar things that we're doing, basically. Jen, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's kind of a good summary of what we're trying to achieve, really, with it.
Yeah, you're way more practical than me, though. You know, you've been off grid, sort of, or semi off grid for a little while now.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. That is the aim. But I mean, my background's not as exciting. I've just always been a bit feral and always kind of lived in the countryside. So that was always where my kind of heart was. And it was just more that freedom side to it as well, and what it's like living in somewhere like this. So I've always wanted to get back to that. I've done city, I've done it, but this is where I've always wanted to get back to, in this way of living. So it's I'm just stubborn. I'm stubborn, and I will just keep doing something until I've done it. So I just pick up skills.
Yeah. You can fix anything.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah.
You know, because it's reassuring for people who, like you, Sonia, they're like, oh my God, I've never, nature and I don't live in that kind of environment. What can I do? But they can see what's happening, what's coming towards us. And by you kind of documenting your journey and getting involved, and I mean, I'm definitely more like Jen with regards to just this yearning to be in a very simple life in nature, back to a time like way gone, but not actually living in that situation. And it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to move to the back of beyond to start recreating that. And it is all about community. It is about the people, because it's no good us just all growing a bit in our gardens and that's it. There's no connection. When it comes to it, really taking off, we're looking at, we're growing stuff, we're swapping it, we're all mucking in. If people can get a bit of land, I mean, that's kind of my dream, is to find a communal area where at my stand and stands around us can all get involved, and it's that energy, isn't it? And it is creating a place where you feel valued and you're part of a community, which we've just lost, haven't we?
I mean, the power of that as well is quite phenomenal. I think when you start feeling you've got like even slightly more empowered, slightly more like you're taking control of your life, you're contributing something, the power of that to kind of propel you forward, to kind of push yourself more and more and do more and more is quite amazing.
So I'm looking at the whole off-grid thing, can I, as somebody who's lived, with comfort for most of my life, can I actually, this romantic view of, I'm going to get up every morning and dig and water and, that's all I'm going to be doing, can I actually do that? So I'm actually going to go and visit intentional communities all around the country. People are doing it in different ways. Also, can I live with 40 people in one place, and this, because it is, like you said, it's not just about growing, it's about the community. And I am a bit of a loner, really. Well, not a loner, but I do enjoy being alone. And can I actually live with 40 people, or having to engage with them all at the same time? And so I'm learning, and I'm going to go off and look and see what people are doing, how they're managing it, different ways of doing it. And like you said, it might not necessarily mean I go off and get a piece of land and become off grid, but maybe I might do it. I'm keeping my options open. All I know is I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be in the system. It's utterly evil and corrupt. And I want to flourish as a human being, and I know I can't do that, with my current situation. So yeah.
I'm really excited to kind of watch your personal journey, and I think as Fifi said earlier, that there is something really kind of reassuring about sharing this journey, that so many of us are kind of starting to think about either off-grid or semi-off-grid or just getting out of the system. And we all kind of, I think it feels quite overwhelming to a lot of us, because it's a world away from what we've spent our lives doing. And I think it's really, really lovely that you're kind of sharing your journey with everybody, because as I say, I think it gives all of us this kind of hope and comfort that we're not on our own. We're all kind of just forging our way as best we can. So I look forward to watching.
Thank you.
It's about simplifying it as well. If we can simplify it for people, it's not as overwhelming. It won't seem as overwhelming. And by the time it gets overwhelming, they've already got the skills to be able to cope with whatever's going to, what they've got to deal with.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because they are, I mean, they're hard work. Any, gardening, things like that. Just in general, it's hard work. So it's building people up slowly.
And
So you're basically in your garden every day, aren't you, Jen? Like, this is, have you shown your garden? Because it's amazing, it's lovely.
Oh, I will do, but I just realised my battery was about to die, so
Oh, you've gone back in. Don't worry.
No, it's all right. I've got a bit left, but it's a signal, so we might lose the signal a little bit because it's quite far away.
Yes. How many hours do you do every day in your garden, Jen? Because it's an amazing achievement.
Well, just watering alone takes about an hour and a half.
Wow.
So that's just watering. So, but I mean, there should be more. I'm sure there's more ways, a better way to do it, but I'm still, that's what I'm trying to work out. That's the process. But if I
Oh,
lovely.
So, I mean, it's going to be hard to see what I've got going, but I've not been here even a year, well, just a year right now. So everything's still establishing. I'm still figuring out where, the sun hits, what times of the day, and all that kind of. So that's the other thing you have to really take into account. And I've also got, this is the medicine
beautiful
bed. So these
Lovely,
are all the herbal things. These are all things going to be made into balms and tinctures and things like that. So it's not just food, it's medicine as well. That's another quite important side to things.
It is.
So,
it's gorgeous.
and then we come up to and this is the main bed at the moment. So this is a small, it'll be kind of extended all the way out, but this is, because I just like a practice year for here, because I'm not used to growing here. I've grown in different, places, but so these are some corn and peas and kale, cabbages, leeks, onions, everything. There's pretty much everything in here in this garden.
That is certainly impressive.
Nice, isn't it?
Oh, wow. It's very inspiring. It gives you something to aspire to, because, and the thing is, it's like you say, it can be really overwhelming. And I remember, like, before, I talked about growing stuff for a good year at least. I was like,
I did the same. From like, and you know what? In 2021.
When did you start?
I should.
When did you both start?
This year. Well, for me, you did it last year, didn't you, Sam? But then
we did. We managed some peas last year. And
what else did you?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We had a really kind of minor kind of toe dip into growing, and then this year I went a bit mental, and we got potatoes, carrots, peas, butternut squash, spring onions, lettuce, tomatoes. We've got yellow ones as well, little yellow cherry tomatoes, chili plants, courgettes, cucumbers. We've planted a blackberry bush and a cherry tree.
Brilliant.
So I have gone a bit bananas.
Fantastic.
But,
that's okay. You can save the seeds of all those things you're growing. If you save the seeds, and you've got a whole new lot for next year.
Yeah, that's kind of like the so it would be the seed saving, and then also like the preserving and how to store and make it last as long as possible is the other thing I'm kind of looking at the moment, because it's like, it's all very well and good growing loads of food, but we haven't got a massive garden. We've not got loads and loads of everything growing, so it's unlikely we're not going to use it within before it goes. But I aim to kind of be able to expand and do a bit more, or I'm not quite sure, but it is that preservation of food as well, and that storage, and the
thing is that you
so much to learn,
because we were both like, ooh, and it was just like, if you take the first step. And actually, it was so much easier. I felt totally overwhelmed. I thought, oh my God, I can't. And I was reading books and thinking, what are they talking about? But actually, once I just planted, sown the seeds, and the little shoots came up, and oh my God, that was it.
Yeah.
And then you're learning, aren't you? And you're seeing it happen, and it starts to make more sense. And it's just the joy of every day. Like at the moment, we've got this one cucumber that's just it's taken off, and it's just every day. How is it? How is it? And it's got.
I was the same. My cucumbers are my favourite plants.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing, right? If I can do it, right? So I grew tomatoes and courgettes from seed. I did have Jen to go, oh my God, what's it doing? What's it doing? You know, so, you know, I was quite lucky to have somebody to bounce off on. But, you know, people can post to us and Jen answers questions or whatever in the Telegram group or whatever. But if I can do it, and I promise you, most of my houseplants used to die in my home. I am not, you know, I'm not naturally green fingered, guys. And when it's so true, when you just see it coming through, and when you see something you know, this is something I grew from the tomato plant. I grew this from seed, and it's going to give me tomatoes. Like, I'm so in awe of like all of this, you know. And I don't know why it's taken me. I know why it's taken me so long, but yeah. So we want to inspire everybody. Even just try it and experiment. Don't think you have to get it right the first time. The whole point is we've got this lull sort of now where we can experiment and try things. You know, next year no one really knows what it's going to be like, but you know, we might all need to be growing big time, taking over pieces of, you know, land and whatever, and just growing, you know, so we need everybody with the skills, you know, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very reassuring as well that it seems to be the big thing, is the growing of food. Like, people have realized and they've recognized, and thank God, like, it hasn't got to the point where we're literally scrabbling and looting, and you know, before people have seen. And also, it's not just our lot, you know, there are people, like you say, who they might have not be following the narrative, blah blah, but they're still seeing all shortages, or they just don't want to be eating the crap that's on offer as well. And so it's kind of like there's a little bridge there. I think it's really unifying thing, and because it's community based, and regardless of what people's beliefs are and their personal opinions and ideas, we're drawn energetically to be together, coming together like that, and overcoming those superficial differences. So we don't even really need to get into the whole why it's happening with a lot of people.
No.
We're growing food together. It's such a great way to live. We're creating these alternatives, and that will draw people to us.
Yeah,
you're so right, because on this community project, you know, we don't push it at all. You know, this is literally about bringing the community together and helping them learn the skills to grow food. That's it. If you do then have those casual conversations where people are quit, because most people we speak to know there's something wrong, and they've seen the things that have happened over the last couple of years, and so they're aware. They just aren't connected. They just don't have the knowledge that we have. So we sometimes do slip little things in, like I said, with being light papers and stuff, but that isn't, like you said, that is not the agenda actually, because then it can become divisive, because there will be people there that aren't, you know, that are fully buying the narrative. So
we decided quite early on, didn't we, that we was going to keep that all out of it, because like you say, there's people out there who would maybe be really interested in growing, but as soon as they'd seen any material connected to what they could consider, you know, not right, then they'd switched off completely and they wouldn't start that growing. They, you know, we could have been that bridge, but because of that, they would have switched off. So yeah, we did decide, didn't we, quite early, to keep all of that out of it.
Yeah, and I think actually, you know, with all of this stuff, with all of the alternative systems, it's the same. You know, there's still going to be loads of people out there who might be following the narrative, but think that, for example, the education system, that they don't want their kids in it because they can see, you know, what's happening there. And it doesn't, when we're creating these aligned, more holistic systems, we don't have to even get into that whole discussion about, because they just see what these things are. They speak for themselves, and that's what draws them in. And so I think actually the way that we're kind of going now within the movement, and with the focus being on creating the new, that's kind of the bridge itself, because it's something way better that anyone would, you know, once it's set up, they're not really having to do it themselves, but they see, wow, like, build it and they will come, and that's it. And so I think we are moving towards more unity actually, although it seems like, my God, things have been so divided, and at times you think, oh, what hope is there? But then through projects like yours, through like so many things that people are doing, they just shine that light, and people are just, because it resonates, doesn't it? I think with
it does.
Thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really exciting, and yeah, really look forward to seeing how it all goes. I will be in touch with my various gardening questions.
Go for it. Jen's your expert.
Yeah, welcome.
I will be in touch, Jen, and yeah, would recommend to anyone yeah, that just wants a bit of, you just want a bit of support, don't you, when you're first getting going with stuff like this. And
yeah,
it's easier and easier now to get started because there are so many people doing this kind of stuff out of necessity, isn't it?
So exciting. And we try to promote what other people are doing as well. You know, you just come across so many new initiatives that some are, you know, quite local in local areas, but that's what we need. So, you know, if there's somebody out there and they, you know, they're feeling that they want to lead on something, because we do need people to kind of bring people together, and communities together. So if there's people out there that want to do community projects, they've got a space, or they know people with spaces, but they haven't got the experience of leading community projects, or they just need a bit more help with gardening, you know, get in touch, because you know, we need this going on all around the country. And you know, the energy is out there, and I think people want to do things that sometimes just don't know how to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. And thanks to people like yourselves, it is spreading, it is becoming easier, it is becoming less scary, and it yeah, we're seeing it, like these blueprints are kind of cropping up everywhere now, and it is nationwide, and people should really take heart in that. You know, we can get through this, we will.
Yeah,
all the
definitely
skills, we've got all the creativity. We've just,
and even if we haven't got the skills, if we've got the desire to learn, there's nothing we can't do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, remember, they want to keep us in fear as much as everybody else that's believing the narrative, so they'll throw out things to make you think it's worse than it actually is. But we're in a really good position in this country. The land is really fertile. There's loads of people with skills, and the will, I think, so I think we're in a really good position. I think, you know, don't try not to go into fear around what might be coming. Just be proactive and look for solutions yourself, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the fear. You know, if you can, I've been looking at that a lot in the last week or so, just this kind of holding space that fear keeps you in, and that you're on a frequency then that there is no clarity, there is no inspired action, because you're literally paralyzed. If you can really work on getting past that and see what they're trying to do, and even see when things are really ramped up, it's actually a good sign, because they wouldn't have to be ramped up to this degree if there wasn't a reason, you know, to try and keep us down. But it's very empowering to take that control back over.
Yeah, and I have to say, we're in the movement, we're sometimes as bad for fear porn in terms of things that get shared around Telegram. You know, it's like all this and this, and it's like, why are you
feeding
sharing
into the
this?
fear, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that was a lot that's sort of driven this series, hasn't it, Fee? Is that we're obviously seeing that there are so many individuals, groups, communities that, whether they're small in a little community or whether they are spreading nationwide, there are just so many people doing so many amazing things. And for us, it's so inspiring, and it gives us so much hope that we really wanted to be able to kind of do this series, share these projects and say, look, there is this hope, there is this better way, there is so many opportunities and so many ways to, you know, make things better. Like, you know, try and get involved and find your passion, run with it, you know, and we'll all learn and grow together.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for chatting to us, and we'll definitely catch up again and see how things are going. But we'll share all the links. I'm on in the Telegram group. You're on Instagram, aren't you? Are you Facebook as well? I mean,
no, not on Twitter because that's full of hate. So we just didn't want to go on social media at all, but you do want to reach out to.
Yeah, we do need to connect with people.
It's that catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram only, and Telegram. We're having a website will be up and running with all the documents that we're creating as well soon. But it's summer and I'm loving being out in the sun and doing so. I cannot sit behind a laptop and do a website. So that's another time.
Fair enough. We shall advertise it widely once it's up and running.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. But in the meanwhile, if everyone could just find you on Telegram and Instagram.
Telegram, it's the Growing Project on Telegram and the Growing Project UK on Instagram.
Perfect. Brilliant. Well,
brilliant.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Lovely to see you.
It's been great. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.